Okay, my friend, thank you so much for enjoying this journey with me. We are in the book of Malachi, or as my Italian friends say, Malachi. But anyhow, we're in the book of Malachi, the prophet Malachi, the last book of the Old Testament. We made it! Genesis to Malachi! Awesome! Then we'll start the New Testament, which will be great too. Malachi preached around, maybe 435 to 415 BC. My notes aren't really sure. But it was before the 400-year period in between the Old Testament and New Testament, which the end of the book of Daniel kind of prophesied a lot about how that would look. We didn't talk too much about the history in between the period of time there. But the book of Malachi stops off, and there's about 400 years before the New Testament begins, before Jesus and John the Baptist. Malachi lays out the road for that, reminds us all to be aware of his word, to study his word, and to know it. Okay. So here we go, in the book of Malachi. First question from the people. The oracle of the word of the Lord to Israel through Malachi. I have loved you, says the Lord, but you have said, how have you loved us? And he talks about Esau and being Jacob's brother, and Edom being beaten down because they came against Israel. Your eyes will see, and they will say, the Lord be magnified beyond the border of Israel. And then it says, a son honors his father, and a servant his master. If I am a father, where is my honor? If I'm a master, where is my respect? But you say, how have we despised your name? You're presenting defiled food upon the altar. And then you say, how have we defiled you? But when you present the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? When you present the lame or the sick, is it not evil? Would you offer it to your governor? Would he be pleased with you? They held God in contempt. They had a rotten attitude. The people of God presented what they didn't want anymore. The second best. The flock that weren't as important to them. But God calls us to give him our best. And that's what we should do. And, I'm in school right now, so I understand the concept of doing your assignments, doing your homework, doing your best. Just putting everything you can forward and doing your best. Not slacking behind. And when I have slacked, I felt it. But when you give your first, give your firstmost, give your firstborn, give your first of your first fruits, tithe off of the first. That's what he's saying to do. And there's a promise we'll get to for that. And this is just sad. Chapter 1, verse 10, how many preachers say, oh, this passage is just downright going to get you. Oh, that there were one among you who would shut the doors of the church, because I'm tired of hearing the religious banter. These useless fires on my altar, I'm not pleased with. I will not accept an offering of. Religion has become a place of relationship. Oh, that someone would throw the church down and close its doors. They throw the temple. He's talking about the temple, and how they were sacrificing and just religiously. It wasn't for any purpose at all. And then chapter 2, it talks about the relationship between a man and a wife, and that in relationship to how God was being treated by his people Israel. It says here, yet you say, for what reason? Because the Lord has been a witness between you and the wife of your youth, because of whom you have dealt treacherously, though she is your companion and your wife by covenant. Verse 16, I hate divorce, says the Lord, the God of Israel, and him who covers his garment with wrong. So take heed to your spirit and do not deal treacherously. You have wearied the Lord with your words, yet you say, how have we wearied him? And now you say, everyone who does evil is good in the sight of the Lord. He delights in them. Where is the God of justice? Here's your message from Malachi for relationships. Love the wife of your youth. Love the person that God gave you. Your husband, wife, spouse, the man or woman that God gave you. In any relationship, if you're not married, love your family. Love the people that are closest to you. Because every one of us needs to love. Because we need love. It's a basic hierarchy need right there. It really just is. And then God hates only so many things in the Bible. He's pretty clear when he does. He hates divorce. And he hates treachery. Guard your heart. Men, John, myself, David, guard your heart. Guard your heart. Guard your eyes. Guard your mind. Give them to God. And say, protect my thoughts, Lord, so I will not sin against you or the ones I love. Chapter 3, behold, I am going to send my messenger. He will clear the way before me. And this is a reference to the coming John the Baptist, who's going to declare that Jesus is on his way. Verse 6, and this is important because this is the message for all of us when we start going, oh, the Old Testament's not for today. God's plan, God's law is different now. For I, the Lord, say, I, the Lord, do not change. Therefore you, O sons of Jacob, are not consumed. Because of God's inability to change, Israel has not been consumed. Same with us, because God doesn't change. Once He saved us, once we believe in Him, we're His, we're secure. And we'll talk about eternal security more. Then verse 10, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse so that there may be food in my house. And test me to see if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that it will overflow. So there's a promised blessing to us when we give to Him of our first fruits, when we tithe off of our first fruits. When we give, He will bless us. Because there's nothing in the Bible that says, test me. But right there, it's like, test me. And I'm going to take care of you. Trust me. God has said it over and over again since we started the book of Genesis to Malachi. Trust me. I know best. I love verse 16. Chapter 3, verse 16. All of 3 16s in the Bible. Malachi. Then those who feared the Lord spoke to one another, and the Lord gave attention and heard it. God's listening to my YouTube videos. Also, he probably doesn't really count on the view pages, though, because he watches this all the time. But my point is, those who gathered together and feared the Lord and studied His Word, God heard about it. He paid attention and gave attention to it. And He wrote in the book of remembrance about those people who feared the Lord and who esteemed His name. There's a book in heaven, in God's library, with your name on it, if you're a part of a Bible study, or you're just in the Word, talking to your friends, or your family, or your loved ones, or whoever, just in the Word by yourself with God. If you esteem His Word, He's got you listed down there. It's like, that's awesome. He put you on His refrigerator and everything. No. The Library of Alexandria. Sad. In that sense, the greatest libraries of ever. Heaven is the greatest library ever. There is the Book of Life, the Book of Truth, His Law, and then there's the Book of Remembrance. And then chapter 4 is real brief. Talks about, behold, the day is coming, burning like a furnace. All the arrogant and evildoers will be like chaff. But for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in its wings, and go forth and skip like calves from the stall. Remember the law of Moses my servant, even the statutes and ordinances which I commanded. Behold, I am going to send Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and terrible day of the Lord. And he will restore the hearts of the children to their fathers, and their fathers to their children. And I will come and smite the land with a curse. Keep His word. Israel now expects Elijah to come because of that passage. And a lot of them set out a table, for dinner, and they set out an extra chair, an empty chair, waiting for Elijah to come. That's why when you use the New Testament, they ask Jesus, are you Elijah? They ask John the Baptist, are you Elijah? Are you the one that's supposed to come? Are you the prophet that's supposed to come? That's why a lot of scholars believe in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation, that He's going to come back during the day of the Lord, during that end time period. And that's it. That is the book of Malachi. That is Genesis to Malachi in a nutshell. We've covered it. We've finished it. Yay! It only took like 260-something days. But it was worth it. And we're going to continue on the New Testament as soon as we can in the next video. You have a good day, my friend. Thank you. Shalom.